Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. I am coming to you in the wee hours of the morning in an undisclosed location in the state of Colorado where I am conducting a homicide trial. But I wanted to bring to you the Chris Watts jail interviews that the FBI, Colorado Bureau of Investigations, and the Frederick Police Department conducted with Chris Watts to try and gain more insight into his heinous crimes. I appreciate you watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you have a comment about something Mr. Watts says, please leave a comment and we will talk about it.
Came back.
How's it going?
How was lunch?
It was macaroni and cheese and a bun and some milk. So it was good.
Oh, that's not
It's milk
bad.
with everything.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Chocolate milk or regular
oh,
milk?
just regular milk.
Oh.
Chocolate milk's, I guess that's like, I don't know.
Special.
That's special.
It is a holiday today, you know that.
I know. But
Okay.
I think they had chocolate milk on Christmas. A little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got milk with everything here, obviously, you know, the state. So,
Yeah.
Ah,
So you can have
the dairy state.
so they got cheese with a lot of stuff too. So,
macaroni and cheese.
yeah.
Well, we brought you some non-lactose Powerade if you'd like it.
Seriously?
Yeah, all yours.
Wow. Thank you. That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So we don't want to take you, all day,
That's fine.
and we really do appreciate being able to sit down and talk with us. There's a few things we want to kind of clear up, wrap up, and then if you have any questions for us,
Okay.
that'd be fine too. Don't want to forget. Did you want to talk about Ronnie real bit or no?
I talked to your dad when we were at lunch.
Oh, okay.
And a couple things we talked about, your property and, waiting on the DA's office. But then the reason he called was Dave Cullen.
Dave Cullen? Okay.
Yeah, he's going to go pick up some of your personal items out of the house
Okay.
today. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I just want to let you know that.
Okay.
We didn't tell him anything about what we talked
No,
about.
he doesn't
Oh,
know
okay.
where. Yeah.
He doesn't even know we're here.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
He just lives like around the corner from me, so
Right.
that'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah. So he just, a lot of times when anybody goes over there, they usually call just so I can give everybody a heads up. That way, I don't have an issue with neighbors calling and saying, somebody's getting into the house.
Okay.
So that's how we do that.
Okay. Has anybody been like checking on the house, making sure like pipes haven't broken and all that kind of stuff?
Water's off.
Okay, good.
I do know that.
I was worried about like sprinkling and all that stuff. Everything I usually blow them out and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
but I
right.
figured
Yeah,
I
the
don't know if
water.
anybody was actually going through it or watching it or anything.
The water's been off for a while. I do know that. The power's still on there. So.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know how you want to look at it, but we need to get a tiny bit more into the weeds and into the mechanics of the time you showed up at the house when Officer Coonrod was there
Okay.
till the time when we were all done talking.
Okay.
So that includes at the house, that includes at the oil site, and everything.
Okay.
And part of the reason we need to get into that is, I mentioned before how we're just really want to get into the mindset of what happened. And you can imagine this is really important for us in the future when we're talking to a guy that's in your position to say, this isn't really a monster. This is more like a Chris Watts. And boy, we remember with Chris, had we asked this or had we done this, we really could have been better. And so that's why we want to get into the mechanics of it a little bit more with you. And that's going to mean exactly how, exactly when, where were you, what was, Shanann wearing or all of that, right? So we really just need for you to take a deep breath and get into it with us. And would it be all right if we ask you some specific questions? Okay. So one of the first things we want to talk about was when you came home So this is after they had passed, and you came home and met with Officer Coonrod. One of the first things we see on the video is you walking into the garage and then into the Shanann's car. Remember what that was about?
In your car?
Yeah, like I think you opened a door or something?
Yeah, you opened the passenger door, and it looks like you were looking for something, or maybe you picked something up. Do you recall what that was?
Not that I'm aware of. Not looking for anything, but maybe just opening the car door to see if, like, see if there. Because I think Nikki was saying, I think I see the car seat still in there.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I was,
Okay.
when I opened up the door, I looked in just to, it's like the first like reaction of like whatever, everybody's just waiting, pretty much waiting to get in the house. Pretty much.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't like looking for anything as far as specific or anything, but I was just, I don't know, just reaction going in there and I know everybody's there. I don't know what's going to happen when they get in the house.
You just out of nervousness, maybe?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was out of nervousness.
Sure. Okay.
And then backing up a tiny bit, I jumped forward too far. So she comes home at 2 in the morning. She gets into bed. Was, when you guys had sex together, was that pretty quickly after she came home?
I think it was around like 2:30 because I felt like she'd be in bed for a little while.
A little bit? Okay. And forgive me, it's not a pervy thing, but she woke you up?
Yeah, she was just, I could feel like a hand was on
Okay.
me, like rubbing my leg or my chest or something
Okay.
like that.
And then that was, signal it's go time type thing?
Pretty much. She
Okay.
was like, yeah.
Okay, I get it. And then that was maybe a half an hour after.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, is there any talking? Or was it just kind of a
And just like,
quiet in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like I just felt her hand around me. I'm just like, what? And it was
Time to
like,
go.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's funny. All right. Then a couple hours of sleep, alarm goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess what I don't understand is, so then there was some talking,
Mm-hmm.
and then how did you get on top of her? How did that happen?
It's like when I got into bed, because she was laying, when she was sleeping, she was laying like face down, which she really never does.
Okay.
And I just got into bed and I kind of nudged her, and then she like kind of rolled over, and then I was just like right there on top of her.
Okay. And so that was after you'd gotten ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go down, you make your food.
Oh yeah, I got like cottage cheese and another couple things that I made for food that day.
Okay. And then, so we talked a little bit earlier today about, there was all of these things playing in your mind where you just didn't even want to go another second without having this conversation or without some sort of completion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so you come back, she's asleep, and then you just kind of nudge her.
But yeah, I just kind of like, hey, look up for a second.
And was there nudge talk for 20 minutes, or was it just nudge and then all of a sudden you're on top of her?
No, she's pretty much on top.
Okay, so that happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's how we kind of pretty much talked.
Okay.
That was just right there.
And was there talking?
Yes.
Okay, and so a nudge, a talk, she's laying down and you're standing up?
I crawled back, I got on my side of the bed,
Uh-huh.
and I just like nudged her like that.
Oh, okay. And then you're talking while you're on top of her?
Yeah.
Okay. That seems confusing to me. Is that actually what happened? Okay. And so...
And she was fine, like just laying there, like you trying to talk to her while you're
So
on
I
top
think
of
she
her?
maybe, I thought we were going to have sex again or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how long did you talk?
About 15, 20 minutes.
Really? In that position? Okay. And was there any sex?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I'm basically from the position that we're in. Maybe she thought maybe I'd try to go again. I don't know.
Okay. And I don't harp on it too much, but I'm just trying to think, if my wife's 4 months pregnant and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I want to talk and I want to get on top of her, that's just not going to fly. So that's why I'm confused.
I know.
So, is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And then talk for about 15 minutes and then it's heated and then your hands are on her neck. Okay. All right.
What did the talk consist of?
Basically just about how, at first it was more of like the, selling the house type of thing, or not going to Aspen, or trying to maybe go in at a different time, and then it just switched all to the, I don't feel like I'm in love with you anymore, not compatible, and went to that. And that's when I got to the heated part of it
Okay.
Did she ever say at some point, get off of me or anything like that?
at the end.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I don't want you to feel like, you know, because where I was, it was kind of like she didn't want me to like to, you know, sit down or like hurt the baby or anything like that. So it was just kind of
Did she accuse you of cheating at that point?
Mm-hmm.
So what'd she say?
She's like, I knew there was somebody else. I knew there was somebody else. I didn't come out to say, you know, that there is somebody else, but she obviously already knew.
And your response to that was what? Did she say, no, there's not? Did you deny it?
I believe I just denied it, but I mean, at that point, because when she would accuse me at the beach, it was a lot of like, there's nobody else, you know, there's nobody else, you know, or like, you know, and when we got back home, she always like said there's got to be somebody else, because she'd always talk to her friends like Christina or somebody on text messaging, and they'd always say there's got to be somebody else if he's not wanting to sleep with you, like he's getting it from somewhere else, and there's, you know, there's nowhere else. I mean, she couldn't really say that I was getting anywhere else because I was using those Antarctica gift cards, so it's kind of like, you know, she just me getting distant, but she knew, and I just, that's mainly the reason why I talked to her, because I knew, like, after that night, it was just like, it felt like, I just felt guilty, more guilty than ever before.
Yeah. And then it seems to me, and sorry, I had a lot of thoughts here. So we know what happened, and we can talk about it today kind of openly, and that's what we need from you, is to just kind of say, you know, I know it sounds bad, or I know this, or I know I feel this way, but physically this is exactly what happened. So if you could tell us that, it seems then that it would have had to been a pretty quick transition from two people talking to this,
Yeah.
right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to, like, trying to think of the last things we were talking about, but it was, you know, I don't feel like I love you anymore, and then she was like, you're never going to see the kiss.
Oh,
That was it.
that's perfect, Chris. That's exactly what we need. Okay. And I know it's hard to walk through that again, but that's exactly what we need. So then, as soon as she started talking like that, then it was on. Okay.
But it was you saying that you didn't love her, is that right? Okay.
And her saying, you're never going to see the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. I can imagine how that made you feel. I'm sorry.
It did more than what it did.
Yeah. And then the fact that she didn't scratch at you or anything, is that just because it was so powerful?
I don't think it, I mean, it didn't feel like, I've never done that before, put my hands around anybody before, so I don't even know what kind of force I was putting on her neck.
Okay.
But it, like I said, 2 to 4 minutes, I don't know if that was 2 to 4 minutes.
Did you cover her face at all during that time?
Both hands on the neck. Okay. And so if it's done right, I mean, that can be a matter of seconds before someone on their carotid loses oxygen to their brain and it's out, right? Did it seem like it was that quick, or? Okay. Maybe a minute, maybe 2? Okay. Screaming? Okay. All right. Did you see eyes go bloodshot or anything like that? Okay. Okay. And
You
then,
kept talking about the mascara. Did you see mascara on her face?
It looked like it was like, that's what I attributed it to.
Was she crying? Is that why? At what point did she start crying?
When I'm talking about the relationship about not being compatible. And when she's talking about there's somebody else, that's where she started crying. That's where I thought, you know, it was mascara.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if it was it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Was there a pillow or something you wanted to ask about?
Yeah, so was there ever at any time a pillow or the sheet or anything involved in like that on her face specifically? No?
No, like the sheet I kind of wrapped around to get downstairs. That was about it.
The one that was at the site? Okay. And then the other sheets, they were in the trash. At what point did you put those in there?
I think that was
Obviously after I was in the house.
yeah. I think it was probably the next day or so. I think it, like, I don't know. I'm not sure like what happened. This is hard to talk about. Like when
Yeah.
strangle someone, I don't like. Sometimes I guess they use the bathroom, so it was like I think that's one of the major reasons why, because I think that had happened.
Oh, okay.
You said she was sleeping face down at one point? Was her face in the pillow, or was it turned to the side, or how did that?
Kind of like on the side. She was kind of like a side sleeper, but she was more down than usual.
Okay.
But then she rolled completely onto her back when you started talking to her?
Okay. Now, as hard as that was, we need to talk about the girls too, okay? All right, thank you. So with the girls, we talked about how they got into the truck with you and were alive, okay? Are you 100% sure that's true? Okay.
Can we go back just a second? You talked about before that Bella walked in, though, to the bedroom. Can you tell us about that before you left?
Yeah, I was just getting the sheet off the bed, and she had walked in, and she had her little pink blanket with her. And she was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with mommy?
And where was Shanann at that point?
Yeah, just pretty much on the bed, but she was face down.
Wrapped in the sheet? What'd you say?
I just said, she doesn't feel good. That's when I tried to carry her downstairs.
Shanann? Okay.
Did you carry her like this? Did you drag her? How did you do it?
Attempted to pick her up and take her down, but I lost grip after a little while and just had to pull.
Did Bella see you do that? What was Bella saying?
She started crying a little bit. She's like, what's wrong with mommy?
And what'd you say that time?
I said, she just doesn't feel good. She's a smart girl. She didn't know what was going on there.
Did she ever touch Shanann? Try and wake her up or anything? No.
She didn't want to see her or ask to see her or anything? And so that initial time, did she see you put Shanann in the truck? So she was kind of following you? Okay. So she followed you and you put Shanann in the truck. Okay. And then what?
Cece wasn't up yet. Or I think she was just in her room. She was getting ready to get out of her bed. And then they were just walking around the house. I was with my lunchbox and stuff in the truck, and then grabbed the kids and I put them in the bench seat in the back.
Okay. And so Shanann, is she kind of on the floor in the back? And they're just on the bench? Okay. And both alive at that point? Okay. Is there any reason you would feel uncomfortable to tell me that they were not alive at that point? Okay.
Wasn't it a video or anything?
It's hard to see. Okay. And I believe you. I'm just I'm trying to make sure that I'm giving you all the opportunities to be comfortable enough to tell me exactly. Okay.
They were alive.
Okay.
Trust me, I hear that every day when Bella was talking to me at the site.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
When she said, "Daddy, no." When we were driving to the site, she said, "Daddy, it smells."
Oh. Okay. So that goes back to maybe Shanann evacuating herself.
I don't know if it was that. That smell like a skunk maybe sometimes.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I got some kind of smell that way, but I don't know what that was from.
And was that maybe outside the truck or was that in?
I don't know.
Okay. What did you guys talk about on the way out?
They were pretty quiet. They just laid next to each other.
Okay.
Maybe Bella in her lap and Cece in her lap, just back and forth.
Oh, okay. Just trading off like little ones do. Okay. Were they awake?
I think one would kind of fall asleep, the other one, and Cece would maybe kind of trade off back and forth.
Were they talking to you?
Just about, just saying, "Daddy, it smells."
Oh, okay.
It was early in the morning. They were showing up that early.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you you didn't have to wake Cece up?
No, there was the noise from trying to get Shanann down the stairs.
Did she kind of fall down the stairs?
No, it was more of like trying to get her down and from the steps, maybe her foot hit the next step kind of thing.
Oh.
They're light sleepers.
then, once you get to the site, tell me what happens.
So I get to that one site and I get Shanann out to that. Just pull over to the part right off the site there.
Okay.
And the girls are still in the truck.
Okay.
Did they ask you what you were doing, taking mommy out, or?
Yeah, I don't remember what I told them, but they did ask that.
What they say specifically?
It was more of like, what are you doing to mommy?
Okay. And then is that when you buried her?
I don't remember if I dug a hole there first but they didn't watch me do that.
Okay. So then pulled Shanann out, and she's maybe just sitting there on top of the ground?
Yeah, like off to the side.
Off to the side, close to where she ended up?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the girls, right?
Mhm.
Okay. You mentioned Bella was first? Cece was first, okay. Where exactly was she when it happened?
In the back seat.
Okay, was she just right next to Bella?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so once again, was it a hand over her face? Was it?
There was a blanket over and my hand.
And then your hand, okay. And then, so that just stopped her from breathing type thing? Okay, did she struggle at all?
I don't think so, but I was blocking her face and my hand was right here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You had one hand here and one hand over her mouth?
And we're just pushing her against the back of the seat type thing? Okay. What was Bella doing?
Just sitting there next to it. She didn't know what was going on.
Okay. Could she see you? Okay. And then, did that take a minute or two?
Didn't feel like nothing. I didn't have no concept at the time at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. Tell me about what you were thinking.
I wasn't. If I was thinking, it's what would happen.
Yeah.
Or any partial hint of what I feel for those girls and what I feel for my wife, but none of this would have happened. So I wasn't thinking.
Okay. So she's in the back seat. Okay. And then once she's gone, then is it Bella next, or did you pull Cece out?
I pulled CC out.
Okay, so once Cece's gone, Bella's still there in the car alive, and then you pulled Cece out. What'd you do with her?
And that thing.
Okay. So she went into the tank, and Bella was still in the back of the truck alive. Okay. With regard to that tank, did you bring up Cece, put her down, open the hatch,
Brought her up, opened the hatch.
and then put her in? Okay. When we talked the very first time we met, when we were talking about this, it was a matter of just lowering her down. Okay, and so she went in feet first? Okay. Was she able to fit pretty well? Was it snug?
I think so.
Okay. Did you have to move her around a little bit and get her in there?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
But no, I didn't have to hit her
Okay.
anything like that.
It's not like you stomped her in?
No.
Okay. And then close the hatch?
Yes.
Okay. And then went down to Bella. Tell me what happened there.
She said what happened to Cece. Or she asked if it was the same thing, the exact same thing that happened to me as Cece.
Did she ask you that? Okay. So Bella's pretty smart. How did she sound when she asked you that, Chris?
She had that soft voice she always had.
Yeah. And what exactly did she say?
She said exactly the same thing that happened to me as Cece. And then I said, I don't even remember what I said.
Okay.
I don't know if I just said yes, like a horrible person, or if I just put that blanket over her too and did the same thing.
Same blanket, same way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She said, no, Daddy. And that's the last thing she said.
Did she say no, Daddy, please, no, Daddy type thing? Did she say saying don't do it?
And she said, no, Daddy.
Okay. Same way, hand on neck, hand over mouth, or hand over blanket, which is over mouth? Okay. Did that take a couple minutes?
I feel like it.
Okay.
No, she had a couple spots like over her eye or something, and I picked her up. And same thing.
And we talked a little bit earlier today about it. You don't remember why a different tank? Okay. And there was no reason?
No, they're both the same tanks. I mean, they're just like, I don't know why I did two different things.
Okay. Does one, I never got up there, does one catwalk lead to both?
Oil can go into either tank.
Okay. But if you go up one set of ladders, does that eventually
Yes,
indicate to both?
It's one catwalk.
Okay. Now Bella was a little bit bigger. Was she harder to get in?
It felt like it a little bit.
Okay. And so was it a matter of just kind of maneuvering her? All right. So then they're both in there. Is there any reason to think they were alive when they fell in? Okay. You're pretty sure? Okay. So once that's done, then what?
Go over to Shanann, clear away some weeds and dig a hole.
Okay. Did you have a shovel?
Yeah, we have a shovel, a rake, and a weed whacker as part of our tools.
With that rake, if I remember right, it was...
Part of it was sitting there because it was broken.
Oh, did it break as you were digging or something?
Now when I was like smoothing the ground over.
On this day? It broke when you were doing that? Okay. Was that after you were all done? And it seemed as though maybe the first people that got there saw it. Was it stuck in the ground?
I guess it was like, not like standing up, but it was like laying down.
Oh, okay. Were you planning on coming back?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay. At this point then, this is just before then, in a couple of hours, you would make it back home to see Officer Conrad. Okay. And so once she's buried, then
That's when people start showing up, I believe.
did you notice, was she cut or broken or bleeding in any way?
No, I mean, I know like the bloodshot eyes you were talking about, I noticed that at that point.
Okay.
Other than that, no.
Had she partially given birth?
No.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Remember, she had a shirt and I think blue underwear on.
Okay.
That's it.
And so at that point, she was, okay. Thank you. I know that wasn't me.
Can you tell us about, obviously you know when the district attorney got up and talked about Bella's injuries and stuff,
I didn't want to hear about that.
right? Can you tell us about that?
As far as like her biting her tongue,
And ripping her frenulum, which is that connective skin from your lip to your gum, it was gone. Her gums had it looked like a hole in them and the pathologist said it was from her obviously struggling to get away.
I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Could it be that that's what happened?
So like, I didn't put my hand like over her, like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it would have been just downward pressure on her, this area.
I didn't see any of that when I picked her back up. Like was it like her lip was like missing or something? Or?
No, see this skin that
Uh-huh.
connects there?
Yeah.
That was ripped. Like, it was gone. So it kind of made like
I
a
mean,
hole in
maybe-
her gum.
I'm just thinking maybe it's like, maybe like if her hand was her head was like twisting back and forth, could that have done that?
Yeah.
If I had a blanket, I don't know, like,
Did you feel her doing that thrashing or trying to get away?
I
or-
felt her head moving back and forth,
You did.
but I didn't know that happened.
Could you tell if she was trying to yell or say anything or?
The only thing was Daddy no, and then like some grunt here and there, kind of like trying to breathe.
During that time, do you remember getting phone calls from Nicole Atkinson?
After I think before she got to my house or after?
Just any time during that morning.
I think I didn't get one until I saw her on my doorbell camera.
And that was, what, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I was right around there.
Okay. And so at that time, had everything been done out at 3319?
Yeah, I was at a different site at a pumping unit.
Okay. So you went from there when it was all done. So the girls are in the oil, Shanann's in the ground, and maybe a little bit of cleanup. Was there any questions we had about the sheets or any garbage cans or garbage sacks?
No, I think he
Okay.
answered those already.
All right. So then you went from that site to another site to work?
Yeah, because at that survey 319, there was a little spill. That's where everybody showed up there, because that spill that was there. We're trying to figure out what happened.
Oh,
While you're on that subject, let me back up. The night before, you had some text messaging about going out there.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was, I think, Friday that we had figured out there was a spill out there from, like, it's an old site. It's set up a little different. So what had happened was there was a downcomer, and then there's a side comer going into those oil tanks, and one of the downcomers is tied into a back pressure line that split, and every time it was dumping oil, it was split underground, and the oil was coming up out of the ground. And we decided just to go out there on Monday, because it was Friday, and he had, like, switched it out, or either he shut it in, or he switched lines, or he covered it up and seen if it was going to come back or not.
Okay. And then it's more specifically, you text about how you would go out there and take
Yeah, I was
care
going
of
to
it?
take care of it for him, because I've gone out there plenty of times.
Okay.
But I used, when another guy was out there, as far as another foreman, he showed me around out there like a year or so ago, and I just got familiar with the place, and figured I'd just go help him out.
Okay.
and so that was a genuine,
Yeah,
that wasn't a pre-alibi, that was...
Because there's a lot of people that said that you wouldn't normally do that.
I normally help somebody.
No, like a field, your position, not you specifically, but your position doesn't do that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was a rover and to a field coordinator, I still tried to do everything I used to do.
Okay.
So that's still like I wasn't good at delegating stuff. I just used to just doing stuff on my own, or just like taking care of it for somebody else.
Right.
I wasn't good at the whole like, hey, you go do this, you go do that, while I sit over here. And
Well, you see what it looks like to us.
I know. It's like,
when it came up, we're
I know.
like
I know.
making plans to be out there, that day.
I know.
But that's not what it was, that was
I wasn't-
natural.
No,
Okay.
I was gonna help them.
So how long were you there? 'Cause what time do you think you were done with the girls?
Hard to really tell. I mean, I think everybody started showing up there by around 7:45, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
And then you were there, did you say you went to a different site?
yeah, it's like I think it was either the 10:29 or the 6:29 or something like that.
And so how long were you at that site?
The rest of the day until I got called away.
So then that was, you were there for at least a couple hours until you heard Nicole Atkinson on the doorbell.
Yeah.
And then I think there was even more time after that until you started coming home.
Yep.
And you got home at 2 something?
No, it's closer to 1:30
Okay.
around there.
So somewhere around, 9 o'clock-ish, all the way till 12:30 or 12 or 1 or something, and then came home.
Yep.
Okay. There was a lot to do about coming home and listening to that Metallica song. Have you heard about that?
I've
Battery.
heard of a Metallica song that people have been. Someone sent me lyrics to it called "Battery."
Do you remember doing that?
That was Nikki Kessinger. She liked the song, or she just wanted to know what it meant.
Oh,
So that's
and that's why you looked it up?
Mhm. I just kind of looked at I didn't have the CD with me, so I didn't,
Okay.
I just kind of looked at the words a little bit.
And was that on the way home?
Mhm.
Oh, that was just a different time?
That was a different time.
Okay, and so the media probably got a hold of that.
Because it says battery,
Right, okay.
but it's like, it's more about like a family coinciding as a battery.
Okay.
Not like, hitting somebody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why did Nikki want to know what it meant? Like, how did that come
I
up?
don't know. It was kind of strange. I mean, she's very into different types of music, and I mean, music I never really thought I'd ever listen to, and like she got me into a few things there as far as music wise, but like Battery was something that she asked me because I knew Metallica pretty well. She just wanted to know like, hey, what's the lyrics mean? I just looked it up just to look at all the words together and just put it in my head again, and that was it. We just made something out of nothing. That's what was strange. I got those lyrics in a letter.
Oh, so now does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, someone sent me the lyrics to it.
Yeah.
I think that guy from California.
The one that
Oh,
was
the
18
kid?
at one point.
The senior?
With regards to then when you get home, you and the officers, saw what they saw. You mentioned that you took the ring off her finger. And then the book, did you throw that in the trash? Okay. There was another book, Body of Evidence. Does that sound familiar?
That you had in your cell.
A body of that Patricia Cornwell.
Maybe. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Did that in Weld County?
Mm-hmm.
What was that about?
That was just one they gave me.
Who gave it to you?
The deputies.
Not your attorneys or?
Oh no, they couldn't give me books.
Oh.
No, any book that I had was given to me by their book cart that they had.
So you didn't ask for that book or?
No, they just kind of give me like, hey, I read some Brad Thor books. He's like a military guy. And Patricia Cornwell, my grandma had always read her books and thought it was, she loved those books. And I'm not sure if that was probably one of the first books, not the first book I read there, but probably the second book I read there. But it was like they gave me, here's 4 books, choose.
What other book did you read? Do you remember?
The first book they gave me when I was in Suicide Watch was, I don't know why, but Murder at Something. And I was like, I looked at him and was like, that's the one we got. I'm like, okay. But,
They handed you that book by itself, no other choices?
the next book I got, another guy that was, I guess they're overcrowded there. A guy was sleeping on a cot outside my door. He's like, here, try this one. It was one that was based like in the 1800s. It's more of like a situational book, like a time period book. So that was a little more calm for that one. That was the first book they gave me.
You don't remember what it was called? Murder at Something?
We were at the Truman Center.
Truman Center?
Yeah, I think it was, remember at the Kennedy Center. I think it was written by Margaret Truman.
Did you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
It was decent. I've never read a book in a long time, so it was different. But like some of the books they gave you, like when you're in the hold, I mean, you're not allowed to have books in there besides the Bible, but the counselors there let me have a couple books, and they just like, here's the ones to choose from. This ones they had. I told them like mystery books or something like that, and that's the ones.
It's kind of crazy they're giving them like murder books, murder mystery books.
You hope that it wasn't some sort of insult or, you can only hope. Okay. What do you think of yourself now?
I don't back when all this happened, when I was in Will County and everything, I definitely didn't feel like myself anymore. Like when my attorneys would talk to me and talk to some of my friends and like some of the stuff they would say, like they would say good things, but I'm just thinking to myself, how could anybody even say those things about me now, being what happened? It's like people that I knew and that I never talked to again, that maybe I was like the roommate like back in the day, or like went to school with, or something like that. Now they're just gonna say that's it's like Chris Watts, that's a guy I went to high school, that's the guy I he did all this horrible stuff to his family. Now I know I shouldn't really take to heart what other people think about me so much. It's just a matter of what God thinks about me, what He thinks, what His opinion is, not anybody else's. Because everybody's gonna have their opinion about everybody. Like before I got in trouble, I was always the guy. Hey, look, they judge somebody on TV. Like that guy that's in the Orange Junction, that guy that's that killed that guy, that guy that raped somebody. That guy's horrible. Now I'm and it's now when we come out at 6 o'clock at night and there's something on the news, I try not to even pay attention to it. It's I don't want to be in that position where I'm judging somebody else, because that's what people were doing to me. And I don't want to be that person anymore. But I just hope that I can step back and kind of look at everything that I've done in my life, and then like up to that point, and just like I did some good things, but in the matter of the most important thing, I screwed up the worst. And so if I can at least maybe help somebody, and however much time I have left.
Was it your intent the whole time you were taking the girls out there that you were gonna do that to them? Honestly.
It's like when I got there, I didn't think it was gonna, like you talking about the tanks or just.
Yeah, like well, just.
I mean, I just the thought process and all this, none of this makes sense. That's why I know you guys keep asking these questions because it doesn't make sense to me.
But I guess I mean, like, did you? You could have done it before you guys left.
I don't.
And not had him, alive in the back seat. They could have been with Shanann in the back seat.
I didn't think about anything really. Like as far as like how everything was gonna happen, I don't know like why it happened. Like why I left everything out there in the field and why like all this stuff. Like just, none of this makes sense at all.
But to Tammy's point, did you think that they might be coming back, or did you know they wouldn't be coming back?
No, I mean, the whole trip out there, I mean, it was like I wasn't thinking. It was like, in my mind right now, I'm thinking back, I'm hoping that I wasn't coherent enough to make that decision to where I knew I was going to kill my girls. I'm just hoping that, no father would ever want to do anything to hurt his blood and flesh, but I did that, and I just don't understand how it happened. So, I mean, I even read books that say, no dad would ever do anything to hurt his children, and this happened. So I always think of myself like, was I even a dad at one point? I don't know. But it's just gonna take a long, long time to guilt and everything to get just the.
Have you asked for forgiveness from God?
It just takes a long time for me to forgive myself. And that's one thing that's not there. I just hope that they can one day forgive me too. Stay with
And I
it.
think you said earlier that you were so angry at Shanann or whatever that you were gonna, anyone in your path of destruction or whatever was gonna get it. Basically, kind of is what you kind of made it sound like. I'm not saying that exactly right, but why were you so angry at Shanann?
I don't know if it was just because of separating me and my family, pretty much. Because, I mean, it happened at the wedding. Like, that's the reason they didn't come to the wedding. I mean, I blew up at my family to a point where I said some horrible things to them back in 2012 that I pretty much told my family that, I don't need them anymore because I said, I cussed my mom out. I did all this kind of stuff. I never thought, and I don't know if it was just like Shanann coaching me on to do it or if it was just like rage that was like I'd never seen before. And then I don't know if it was just everything that happened in July, but they can't see my kids, and I'm not sure if they're ever going to go see them again. I don't know. And it was just like, I don't know if that had something to do with it, that something inside of me just triggered it, and then just like all that pent up from the wedding and everything, just like, it's like a long fuse that finally just went to its end.
What happened in 2012?
There was my mom and Shanann, just like from when I proposed to her, it was at the beach, and from then on, it was just like she always went up to Shanann and was like, I didn't need a ring like that when I was your age. I didn't need all these fancy things when I was your age. And just kind of kept boiling over, and then they never agreed on anything. It was just like, we didn't really need their help to do anything. We just like, so we'll just pay for it ourselves and all that kind of stuff. And, it was just back and forth. And I think maybe my mom just never thought she was good enough. She always thought she was hiding something from me.
She always thought Shanann was hiding something? Like what?
Stuff from her past, or like,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So there's conflict at a barbecue when all the families got together. And the first, maybe a barbecue that Shanann put together for everybody to get to meet each other. Two families, if you call that. Like when you first started dating.
Oh. I remember we did have something like that, but I don't remember like any kind of arguments at any place like that. I know like when I proposed to her, Shanann had her family come down to the beach too. They stayed at a separate house. But as far as like a barbecue or anything, I don't remember one that was like that.
Way before then.
Yeah. I remember the time when I asked Frank if it was okay if I had asked Shanann to marry her. I remember that little get together. I don't think.
So then what was the blow up at the wedding about?
It was just my mom and pretty much my sister just didn't like her.
Oh.
They just thought, that Shanann had taken me away from them and moved me out to Colorado.
Oh.
Because we were in Colorado when we flew back to get married.
Oh, okay.
Because we went to Colorado for Thanksgiving to visit some friends, and we decided to move out there like a couple months later.
Okay.
So that was like April. I moved out there April 2012, and we got married in November 2012 in North Carolina. So they always thought I was just that she took me away out there. And
Was
then
there something with invitations or something? Your sister was supposed to send invitations.
Yeah, there was. Okay, now you're bringing some memories back. There's something to do with that, and then my sister wanted, her kids. Oh, my sister wanted her kids as like the ring bearer and like something else, ring bearer and flower girl. And then Shanann she told her no, or wait, either Shanann told her no or Jamie backed out because of something else, and then it just like all blew up.
And is that pretty close to the wedding?
Yes. Yeah, within a couple weeks.
Did they go to the wedding, your family?
My grandma did.
But your parents and your sister did not go.
Ronnie wasn't there either?
No. Nobody was there. It was my grandma was there, and then like the dance when the groom dances with his mom, like I danced with Mark's mom and my grandmother.
It's sad, isn't it? I mean, it all comes from a place of love, them loving you and not wanting to get stolen. And
It was a great day. I mean, everybody was really happy. I mean, it's always just rang in the back of my head. They were never there, and every time they look at pictures, it's just like, oh, where's out there? I never knew if they actually were going to come anyways, but as far as sometimes they'll just like, all right, we're just going to go just to be there, but they never knew if that was the case.
And so then when Tammy was asking, why were you so mad at Shanann? Was part of it just this whole family strife?
That's the only thing I can think of right now, because there's no other reason really to be mad at her. Because we took care of each other our whole 8 years. It was just like a good relationship. I mean, it's just like, if I never met Nikki, would I ever have, thought our relationship was bad? I would not.
Interesting.
That's one thing I always thought about. Like, even Nikki asked me, like, if, I don't want you. She said, I don't want you to leave your wife just because of me. I'm just like, what do you mean? She said, well, just if you met me, like, would you have known? I'm like, no. 'Cause I never thought I would have strayed away from her at all. Like, I've never tried to follow anybody,
Right.
Was Shanann checking your phone, or
She always had my phone.
Do you always check in your phone? So how did you get past that
I use my work phone.
to text? And you had some secret apps, right?
That was on my personal phone.
Were you using anything else to have contact with her?
No, I just text her with my work phone. And like when Shanann and the kids went to North Carolina, I just used my personal phone. And she just told me like to put pictures in an app, and I just found that calculator. I just put, just searched on the app store like hidden pictures, and that's the calculator app first one popped up.
Like in your iCloud or your whatever isn't linked together, so she would know if you're getting at, downloading apps and stuff like that.
They used to be a long time ago, but when we got different phones, or when our phone contact list would be synced up from the cloud and stuff, I couldn't have she had tons and tons and tons of phone contacts. I just couldn't have all that, but it's still.